Hi, I'm Judy Fine, back with another live Q&A. I have a great guest singer-athlete co-host with me, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring her up right now. Judy Houle, welcome to the live
Hi, Judy.
Q&A. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Judy has been an online student, not super long,
Hmm.
few months,
Yep.
but like a star overachieving student, if I may say so. Before we find out what you want to talk about, Judy, just want to mention a couple of things. A few people have been inquiring about buying singing lessons for someone for the holiday season. Feel free to chime in if you have an opinion about any of this, Judy. I think giving singing lessons to somebody is a beautiful, thoughtful, wonderful gift. But I also encourage anybody who's thinking of that to be really sure that the giftee is ready for one-on-one lessons, because one-on-one lessons are really vulnerable, and you're opening yourself up, and it's scary, and not everybody's ready for it, even though they want to be better singers. So I've never done the math, but something like 90%, I would guess, of the gift certificates I have sold for singing lessons were never used. So because of that, I have two gift cards that are available that are for DIY versions. So if someone's not quite ready to do the face-to-face, they could still do vocal development. And one's for the online course, which is a full learning experience about the deeper, what am I trying to say, concepts behind great singing. And then one is just a workout bundle for people that don't want to learn the deeper concepts, and you can just work your voice out. Those are on the website. Click on the big red button that says gifts for singers. You'll see it in there. And there are other gift ideas in there too. Have you been able to check out that page, Judy?
I have. So you've got some great options, some good leads on equipment for singers too. If somebody is not ready for lessons, I just want to say, and this is an unsolicited comment, but that if you are considering lessons with Judy, she's fabulous.
Aw, thank
You
you.
know, you're so helpful in giving specific feedback, but you're also very encouraging. So it's not an intimidating process whatsoever. So, for anybody who's thinking about that and thinking, I don't know, I would say that's the way I was when I stepped into my first lesson. I was like, I don't know what this is going to be like. And you have exceeded my expectations completely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. While we're on that subject, could you share your thoughts? I think a lot of people are apprehensive about the idea of online lessons.
Mhm.
And here you are, you live one town over from me, but you're still choosing to do online lessons. So
Mhm.
what is your take on, like, what would you say to someone who feels uncertain about the online experience in particular?
I think it's a case of just understanding, and this is sort of where the pandemic was kind of a proof of concept for this model because you're able to, if I position the camera well, you're able to see what's going on with my body. You're able to hear what I'm doing every bit as well as if I were coming to your house, to be able to just give me that good feedback. And I have not felt any sense of feedback that has not been helpful via online. I think I have sort of that same experience. Talked to somebody else who is a singer and does some vocal coaching. She said, I don't think I could ever do this online. I said, it is actually very doable. It's just about positioning the camera appropriately so that you can see what's going on and give me the feedback that I need. And you're able to hear what's happening with my voice and again, still able to give me excellent feedback. So yeah,
Yeah.
online it's great. Comfort of your own home, you don't have to get in the car and drive,
Yeah.
all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I find, the only thing I can't do online is like touch you. So sometimes if I'm showing someone about where their ribs expand, I can touch their back.
Mm,
But it's so easy to have other things in place. So I have a video of me where you can see my back,
yeah.
when I'm teaching people about ribs, and I have the audio workout files and stuff. So I find them amazing. And then I've had students like go on vacation but not want to miss their lesson, so they've
Mhm.
done their lessons in a hotel room and stuff. So I think they're great. But I appreciate your feedback because
Mm.
of course I think I'm great. I'm the one sort of selling them. So I wanted someone to hear from a student who has the option. You have the option of coming in person
Mm.
and you still don't. Yeah. So before I want to mention we're on Facebook and we're on YouTube at the same
Mhm.
time. We're streaming, and I would love to hear your comments or your questions or anything that you want to share for me or for other Judy. And I will try to address everything that comes up. And if you're watching this live after it's over, you can also put your comments or questions into the comment thread, and I'll address them at a future Q&A. The other thing I want to say, though, before we get to whatever you want to talk about, Judy, but wait, there's more. I have my one singer athlete from Poland sent a video right before we hopped onto this live, and I'm just going to share it. It's like a message to everybody. So let's see.
Judy, hi to great vocal coach, and hello to all singer athletes. I have been a singer athlete for more than 2 years now. I'm in Poland, now it's the night already. My name is Małgosia Nowak, and I'm just going to see my community where I play. So Monday at 7, the same for 30 years, so nothing can be done about it. But I'm happy to hear that you have a live today, exactly at 7 of Polish time, and I hope you will have a very good conversation. And I hope to join you someday at some other time. So have a great time, and cheers to everyone.
Thank you, Małgosia. Małgosia. She wants to be a co-host at some point, so I guess we're gonna have to change the time of the live. We'll see. All right, Judy, ball's in your court. What do you want to talk about?
Well, just a little bit of background first. I am a musician, semi-pro musician, I guess, at this point in my life. I started out my career as a music teacher 40-something years ago, and was classically trained in college. I majored in music, minored in piano, and took voice lessons. So I was classically trained. I've now made a transition singing in my church, and I've sung in churches since I was a child. But now I've made that transition to, yes, doing some traditional hymns, but also doing more contemporary Christian music. So the church I'm in right now has a sound team. I've never worked with a sound team before. And so just trying to make that transition into a different style of singing. And you've been really super helpful to me. And so I'm just kind of wondering what your thought process is, that as somebody's trying to transition from one style of singing to another, what's your thought process in terms of helping that person along?
Yeah, that's actually my story, because my very first vocal coach this was in the 1980s, and she was 80 something. So she was from a tradition long before. She was like a famous radio singer before television, that kind of thing. And so it was a very specific style of singing that to her was just singing. But now for some people, you can be classically trained and transfer that to more popular sounding music. Pat Benatar is the example everybody uses. She was classically trained. When I tried to sing a Pat Benatar song with my classical training, it was ridiculous. Your love is like a tidal wave. It was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that did not work for me, and it does not work for many, many people. So I had to unlearn a lot and then relearn in a correct way that uses what we know in modern science about our bodies and what we know about training our bodies, because there's also this idea that you're sort of born with it or you can never do it. And it really is like a sport, which is why you refer to yourself now as a singer athlete. And so you have to break bad habits and make new ones. What do you think was for you, like what was an example of something that you had to relearn?
I think just the way classically, when you're classically trained, and I've sung in a lot of choruses over the years, where people teach you how to do vowels in a certain way. That's the only word I can think of is heavy. Or vibrato is heavy. Things are heavy. And in contemporary music, it's a lot lighter. So that's where I've had to unlearn some of what I was trained in terms of how to form vowels and how to project, because you're without amplification expected to fill a room, to now having a mic, having a sound tech that can kind of
Yeah.
keep them in check, and how does that all work? And so that's where I've had to unlearn some things technique wise
Mhm.
and learn some new things about, do your E's in this way, and, smile a little, and that kind of thing. So it's been a transition in just, and I still fall back sometimes into some of those old habits. And I've gotten to the point where I sort of hear the other Judy in my head saying, reset, and,
Mhm.
think about doing it a little differently. So yeah, that's been really a learning experience to be able to undo. And I hate to say this, but I took voice lessons 45 years ago. So it's a lot of years of having to change
Yes.
habits.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle, but it's just constant reminder of, nope, you need to do it this way now. So I'm
Yeah.
getting to feel that some things are becoming more automatic, but it's still, I keep it
Yes.
in my head.
Yeah, so in the beginning, you have to keep checking in, and then eventually you'll have to check in less and less.
Mm.
Yeah, so I would say that the change from, like, when my first vocal coach was a young happening singer to today's young happening singers is that back then there was more of a, and I'm generalizing, but there was a kind of ideal sound that everybody was trying to create and copy. And now sounding like yourself is what's ideal,
Mm.
and just doing it with artistry. So it's a very important difference, I think, to and a difficult one
Mm.
because we tend to not like the sound of our own voices, but that's like your gold.
Mm. Yeah.
So changing your vowel sounds. I mean, what we're really doing is getting it closer to your speech and to how you
Mm.
speak, and then whatever it takes for that, which is a lot of trial and error with mouth
Mm.
shapes. But yes, it's an important difference. I remember the first time I was able to really sing the way I felt. I was already in my 30s when I finally, like, got over my classical training. And I was, I mean, I wanted to start a support group for recovering classically trained singers, just because it was just so I mean, instead I went and got certified or took a certification class in the teaching method
Mhm.
and started teaching.
Mhm.
But what a huge difference, because so I wanted so much to sing a certain way that when I
Mm.
started to be able to, my whole life was just felt better. I
Mm.
felt like I was being the person I wanted to be. So yeah,
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that you sort of left with me, which is why, and I'll have my mic set up in my studio, which is a small enough room that I don't need a mic in here. But you kept,
Hmm.
was you were talking to me about recreating the environment that you're going to be singing in.
Yes.
Um, and so that you get that feedback that you're not practicing in a way in an environment that's different than the environment in which you're going to be performing, or
100%.
in my case, leading worship. So I do, probably once a week anyway, we'll get down to the church and actually flip on the sound system and just be in the space. And particularly I play once a month, play and sing once a month. So the Saturday before, I usually am there just
Mhm.
to have that sense of what the space is like. And I
Yep.
think that's a key thing too, particularly if somebody is trying to change styles. Because I was taught to sing, Handel arias and, from the Messiah or whatever.
Mhm.
And so, it's a very different style of singing, and being in the space or being able to recreate the positions. Because for a lot of people who sing in clubs or whatever, you can't be in the space, but at least to be able to recreate the
Some of
conditions,
the con
which,
yeah,
I think is an important piece of it as well. So that's been helpful.
100%.
Mm.
Yeah, good. And for some people, in addition to that, it's really helpful to imagine an audience and imagine you looking, not being afraid to look at the audience, because that actually will get you a little nervous, and then you can practice keeping it together when you're a little bit nervous.
Mhm.
Like, so you can go pretty extreme with that, recreating the conditions. I use my entire basement. I hop around my entire basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing too is that I originally found you online because I am a little older. um, and so I was noticing that my range was starting to shrink, and
Mm,
I was not ready for that to just be a natural outcome of my age. And
Mhm.
even though you don't market yourself that way, you popped up in a search of voice lessons for older singers, which was kind of interesting to me. But just, again, I'm curious as to I know what you do with me, but I'm curious as to what's going on in your head as you're trying to work with somebody to try and expand their range.
Yeah. I mean, wherever you are, whatever your muscle strength is or muscle density or whatever,
Mm.
um, working out your muscles, stretching your muscles makes them work better. So I can't make anybody who's 60 sing like they might have when they were 30, but I can help you put off. I can help you put off the shrinking of your range, or you can help yourself just by exercising it. I mean, it's the same as your
Mhm.
body, right?
Mhm.
I can't stop you from growing older, but you could stretch and walk and ride your bike, and you can kind of slow down. It really is use it or lose it.
Right. Yeah.
So it's muscles strengthening, keeping them limber, taking care of it. Of course,
Mhm.
like with everything, when you're older, you can't beat on your voice either. You have to follow the rules more when you're older, because you can
Yeah.
get away with a lot when you're young,
Mhm.
and your body and your voice will keep doing what you want. But as we get older, you really have to drink more water. You really have to make sure you get sleep, and you really have to exercise your voice regularly. How are
Yeah.
you feeling about your range now?
It has improved. You have some very high exercises that I'm not
Still going
quite
for that
there.
high A.
Yes, I am, but not quite there yet. That high
G
G
sharp is good. G
A,
sharp is good. That A
A,
is going to be
sometimes
yours
yes,
one day.
sometimes not. But just even when I have to transition from like my chest voice into my head voice register, I have found that I can stay in my chest voice higher now, which means I'm
Mhm.
not having to make that flip
Yes.
as low in my range as I was. I still have to, I still have the basement, as I call it, in my
Mhm.
range, which is a good thing for songs that have a particularly wide range. Like recently, my uncle passed away, and they asked me to sing "You Raise Me Up," which has got a very wide range. And so it was trying to
Mhm.
find a place where it wasn't too low, but low enough so that when I had to get up high, then it wasn't going to sound terrible. So, and again, that was like, hi, I'm in day 2 of learning this song for Saturday, and I had a lesson with you, and you were again just really super helpful in helping me make those transitions into the upper range, and just reminding me. I think your approach of the singer athlete, as it were, and that your entire body is the engine of your voice, not just here. Because I
Yeah.
see a lot of singers where, this is all popping out of them. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you're going to not be able to sing 10 years from now because you're just killing
Yeah.
yourself. And just, it was a good reminder of things I had learned back in my classical training days, but you've also added some things to the mix that have been really super helpful to help me, again, remember that this is a whole body experience.
Mm.
And so that's just been really super helpful to me to be able to now feel like I can hit some things that I couldn't 3 months ago and be comfortable. So that's
Yeah.
been really super helpful. Thank you.
You, you've been doing all the work. I just sit there going, there, but you do all the work.
Yeah, but if again, without this, I just felt like as I was trying to improve my craft that I needed somebody to help me make that the transition from not being so heavy and so vibrato driven to something that's a
Mhm.
little lighter, but also just to remind myself that it's a whole body experience and to add some tools to the mix, which was really helpful.
Nice. I think that's a great way to sum up what we're talking about. It really is a whole body experience.
Mhm.
And that's great. And that's why you take care of the whole body.
Mhm.
That's why people say to me, "How come I could do this 2 days ago, but I can't do it today," or something like that. And I don't know. I don't know what's different in your singing voice, but did you not get enough sleep in the last couple of
Mhm.
nights? Have you not been drinking enough water? Did you have a lot of salt? There are a million reasons why your body might be functioning differently.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And you're also good at a lesson of saying, you seem a little tired at the moment, so maybe we should move on to a different vocal exercise
Yeah.
because it's not being productive. And that, again, you even online, you can easily read that. So, it's
Yeah.
kudos to you for being able to use this medium in the way that you do.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't feel like I have any trouble. The only trouble I could ever have is if someone doesn't have good internet, but I don't feel like I have any trouble as far as being able to tell what's going on. So yeah, I appreciate your thoughts on that. Does that wrap up the stuff that you were interested in talking about?
I'm always curious about what's going on in people's minds when they're doing things. I see the end result of it, but I'm kind of always curiosity. What are you thinking when you're trying to do this stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm impressed with you at how you're one of those students I can make a suggestion and you kind of do it. And I just love that. You just kind of do it and then it happens in the next, and you might tell me it's not going to happen, but it always ends up happening, which means you're going to hit the high A. I'm just telling you.
Not quite yet, but we're
you're going to. Well, thank you so much for doing this Q&A with me on Thanksgiving week. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope everybody else has a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I hope you guys check out the Gifts for Singers page for you, for somebody else. And anything else you want to say signing off, Judy?
No, I just think that the investment in lessons with you is well worth every penny. And I would encourage anybody who is either a singer wannabe, you sing in the shower, or I don't know if I can sing in public kind of thing. Again, you're just so encouraging. Your feedback is specific and helpful. But at the same time, you're always just so encouraging that anybody who's thinking about doing this, I would say, absolutely, go all in.
Thank you so much, Judy. I should hire you for my marketing department or something. I didn't tell her to say that, by the way. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to sign off. I'll be doing another Q&A next Monday at 1 o'clock. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Those of you in the United States, I hope everybody has a great Thursday, everybody else. And thank you so much, Judy. And
you're
I
welcome.
will see you at your next lesson.
All righty. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.